Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and in today's episode, I'm going to talk about the basically how far ahead, seriously, how significant Arctic animation was, and all the things that have been doing in terms of fan subs and that kind of stuff. And just sort of give a comparison of where we were and how far ahead we were in this thing. Just basically, answer that question. How did you really get that name as the Godfather of anime? And just sort of give you the perspective of where things were. Okay. So before I begin, I'm going to want to remind everyone to go down below, click like and click subscribe, and if you want to throw in a comment about fan subbing and how your influences and that kind of stuff came in from fan subbing. If you've experienced it in your in your past, that again helps the YouTube algorithm recommend my videos because that's. Because YouTube never recommends my videos, and so you can do that. If you like to support me financially, I do also have the super thanks button, as well as I do have the links for Patreon and PayPal below, where I make a lot of extra episodes for the subscribers and that kind of stuff. There's a whole bunch of content, at least 15 episodes of content available now on that platform, which basically covers topics and does things that I can't do here on YouTube, just because of all the rules and regulations that are on YouTube. So I got them all separately. Again, you can see all that content and whatnot in a Excel spreadsheet. Link is down below. You can just see what all my various different episodes I do have, as well as some of the episodes I do also have on the subscriber page, right? So you can see what the preview of what's coming up, kind of like a TV guide, if you will. Okay. So yeah, again, do look down below for those links. All right. But in today's episode, we're going into talk about the significance and the basically where Arctic animation and everything related to the fan community. Okay. So just sort of put things in perspective of sort of what the timeline was in here. Again, we started in an era of obviously Japanese animation where a lot of the stuff in the 80s, in the 80s and even the late 80s, didn't have subtitles and didn't have dubs, right? It's just very few U.S. companies were doing anything commercially. So basically, a lot of the stuff that was coming over from Japan, especially during the big initial rush, right? So right after 85, 86, the number of OVAs really jumped. And again, if you want to take a look at exactly how they jumped, you should check out my episodes where I cover the My Anime list for the years 1985, 86, 87, 88, and 89. You will quickly see that there is a really big increase in the number of episodes, OVAs, and TV shows and movies that came out at that time, right? So, a lot of us at this time still had to basically watch those things in straight Japanese. No, no subtitles, no dub. Full of commercials sometimes. Or again, straight in Japanese. It was only just when I started doing fan subbing in '89 that this thing of this concept of being able to understand some of this Japanese animation stuff really occurred. Okay, so then once we started showing people and whatnot that hey, it is possible to get these Japanese animations with some translation, with some subtitles using this fan subtitling technique, and so we figured a lot of other people would have tried to get into the learn how it's done, maybe try to do it themselves. So, like a lot of things that happen on the market at this particular time, a lot of other clubs and people and that kind of stuff think, well, if you're able to then apply subtitles and do translations to Japanese animation, maybe we should try to get into that and be able to get into doing our own translations and that kind of stuff, maybe some different ones or whatever for different sort of animes and to get into that. But you quickly find out that even with those the peaked interest and that kind of stuff, the overcoming some of the huge hurdles like the initial investment and cost and that kind of stuff, you'll find that the gap is disparingly large, and I've got a document here today, which will go over that. Okay, so as I did an episode earlier on about the animerec.arts.anime, the internet was still very, very young at this age. Okay, so we're talking about the early '90s. Okay, so basically an environment before Windows 95. Okay, so a lot of us on PCs still have not got a Windows interface. So obviously, the people who have been operating on Macs already do. But we're still experimenting with this thing called the internet. It's nothing like what you obviously have today. There's no the existence of things like Google don't exist. Even the things like GeoCity pages and whatnot still doesn't really exist. Most of the communication is done off of the use group news feeds and that kind of stuff. A lot of people are still working on dial-up, so very, very slow modem speeds and that kind of stuff at this particular time. So internet is very, very shall we say, very, very in its infancy stage. Okay, but I did manage to find, in addition to the episodes I've done on the Stephen Pearl's shall we say FAQs, anime FAQs at this particular time, I ran across another document which I forgot about, which was a anime fan sub compilation or list. Okay, now this particular list was which is done and compiled by a J. Harvey out of the Akron, Ohio, from the Akron Anime Club. Okay, he initially started this, and he compiled all the list of all these different fan subbers and that kind of stuff that was available at this particular time, and provided their information and that kind of stuff and what they were doing. Provided updates for different animations that they were working on, and basically, made it so that, it was kind of a one sort of shop place to look for different fan subs and that kind of stuff that was available. And then if you were interested, you can contact each of the various different fan sub groups to ask for whatever it is. Okay, and so I'm gonna go through this document and just give you an idea and talk about the scale and the size and put things into perspective about this particular list, and then you can just see how and then you come up to with your own conclusion of how I got the moniker of the Godfather of anime. All right, so without further delay, let's have a look at this fan subbing list that Jay's put together and see what it tells us. Okay, so let's begin. The next entry on the list is Arctic Animation. And again, it has various logging, actually quite a bit of contact information. But let's just skip ahead to the titles, because I've already made an episode, which regards going through this particular list, and it's also an older list from 1997. So it's 3 more years later from this one. But let's just quickly go through it and just go over some of the information that we see on it, and then just really quickly. Okay, so again, right away we have the Orange Road, the 12 tapes of Orange Road. We have a music edition, the Summer Jump special. We did all the Pat Labor, 16 tapes of the Pat Labor series, the Pat Labor movie number 1, number 2. We did Gundam Charge Counterattack, Gundam 0080, so all 6 OAVAs of that. We also did 0083 with the first ones. Well, we used the scripts from Operation X, which is Varn Kim's translation for that, 13 episodes of that, as well as we also added Double Zeta Gundam episode 47, which is the last episode, which is based off of the translation from the novel. We have all 24 tapes of Maison Kaku at this time, because Viz hasn't released it yet, so it's still available on the fan subbing list. We have the Maison Kaku Parade, which contains the regular version of the Maison Kaku songs with karaoke. And we also added to that the 2 songs which are based from the CD box from Picasso, which I do believe is Altier No Glass and something else I can't remember off the top of my mind, but we added that in, which is not actually on the actual Music Parade disc there. Mizakaku, the final movie, and Mizakaku, that special OVA episode as well. Okay, so continuing down the list, we also started doing a lot of the City Hunter. We had City Hunter Magnum's Love Destination, one of the first OVAs, the City Hunter Bay City Wars, a whole bunch of random episodes of City Hunter as we basically got episodes that we liked and whatnot. We added them onto the list, as we're going there. So then, from after we did all the Cinder, we just started doing the Sailor Moon episodes for Sailor Moon. Now I noticed that I wrote on the actual thing that we did the first 12 episodes time. Well, basically, we did all the episodes that we're doing at this time were all timed off of the TV copies. So we were literally going and getting the rental copies out of Awase or whatever, which first generation TV copies with all the commercials and everything else in them, and we were subtitling them right off of them. We weren't even waiting for the lasers, because usually what happens in concept is that the whole TV series gets released, all season 1, for example, and then they may release a Laserdisc box set for it. Okay, so then you have to wait until at least basically the season's over, then you got the Laserdisc for it. Where we just went, screw that, we're just gonna subtitle them off that and just boom, off we go, and then that way we get a head start on it. The time file still more or less works. We might need some adjustments when we convert to Laserdisc, but for the most part, that gives us a big jump right away. We also started doing the episodes for Sailor Moon R, so you can tell that Sailor Moon's already over already, and here we are. We're already starting to do Sailor Moon R episodes as well. Okay, because they're starting to come out. So we just started getting those. So we're really tapping into the magical girl era right here, because that's what Sailor Moon was about. We've also started doing Miracle Girls. Okay, so as you see again. We've already done episodes 1 through 8 off of Laserdisc, but we've already done all the other tapes from 10 to 24. So essentially, all the first season of Miracle Girls has already been released and already been broadcasted, right? So we already fan subbed all those episodes already, and now we're going backwards and we're redoing volumes 1 through 8, or like episodes 1 through 8. Already back onto Laserdisc, because we already have the time file, right? So again, anyone really interested in Miracle Girls, it's already out there. Irresponsible Captain Tyler, so same thing. All of Captain Tyler is already released. We did all 26 episodes of Irresponsible Captain Tyler already off of the TV broadcasted version, okay? And now we've already gone through and done episodes 1 through, looks like roughly 1 through 14, so roughly about the first 4 volumes. We are now redoing onto Laserdisc. Again, they didn't last very long, because I think Central Park Media eventually licensed Captain Tyler. But again, that's one of the titles that we have available. We also started fan subbing Hime-chan's Ribbon. Again, all the episodes, okay, all the way up to 61, has already been fan subbed by us using TV time copies, okay? And slowly, what we're going to end up finally doing is we replaced all the episodes with Laserdisc copies, but the Laserdisc at this time hasn't been released yet. So, because we haven't got it yet, again, we're ahead of everybody in that respect, getting the stuff out as soon as possible. Okay, and then also we just started timing out the Red Riding Hood Cha-Cha, Azukun Cha-Cha, episodes 1 through 8. So as I said, this must have been airing on TV just now, right? I mean, like we're getting, broadcast copies of Cha-Cha, and we're just taking the rental tapes from Awase sort of stuff, and we're just blasting them out right away. Really great show. We also have this is Greenwood, okay? So again, this is another one of these collab episodes we did with Ranma Project, and part of this is when we went down to San Diego Comic Con, Daisuke brought up This Is Greenwood manga with him, and he got him interested in Greenwood. So I was like, using this and the collaboration with Ranma Project, and with Daisuke and Chung Kim, he made the scripts for 5 through 6. We managed to put together a sort of all the Greenwood episodes. And then all of these various OEVAs, I can just quickly go right down them. The Fatal Fury 1, the TV OEVA, that's like an OEVA that was broadcast on TV. Ultra Superman R, which is the guy who makes Pat Labor. Golf Force Earth Chapter 2 and 3, okay. Because again, at this time, Golf Force, the regular first Golf Force was already released, so this is now the new Earth Chapter versions. the Golf Force New Century Volume 1 and 2. So those are the very last ones of the Golf Force saga. Aerial Volumes 1, 2, and 3, and 4. We also have the Assemble Insert, again, also, from the guy who brought you Pat Labor. Record of Lotus Wars 1 to 13, okay? Laputa, Castle in the Sky, Macross the movie, Genji, Act 1, which is parts 1 and 2. So that is the Genji made by Kiyomiya, just to make the clarification. Silent Mobius, the movie. Again, more Kiyomiya stuff. Movie number 1 and 2. Lunar Vulgar, okay? Now, this is a script that was, more basically was provided for us at the request of a Chris Sweat that has basically asked me to fan sub this one. Again, I think it got eventually picked up by A Division, but, at this time, we took the request and we did that one. Good Morning Althea and Legend of Lenmir, okay? Which is, the famous breast man stuff. So there we go. And the Animation Music Video Volume 1. So this is, again, Volume 1 of our AMV collection. Okay, and then going on the list there, we also have AMV collection of Volume 2 and Volume 3, which is the basically 1993 and 1994 editions. We kept making new ones, of course. Now the hentai stuff, we have La Blue Girl Volume 1, Freya, The Legend of Leon, Yojo Kyotsu, which is, again, Demon Beast Invasion. We also got Cream Lemons, episode 2, 6, and 16, which is basically all the episodes in the Escalation set. And Cream Lemon 11, which is Black Cat Mansion. Again, all very famous ones that I really particularly liked. So that's why I got those ones particularly done. Also, we have a section which no one has, which is called the discontinued section. So this is stuff that we did, but we took them off the list because these titles are coming out from commercial vendors, soon or has already come out. So we did Rama the movie, and half the movie. Again, it ended up that Viz didn't do the movie right away. They did the TV series, so we kind of in advance we decided to take it off the thing. Bubble Crisis 1 through 8, that was released by Amiego. Dirty Pair Project Eden. Vampire Princess Mew, that was released by Amiego. Macross 2, 1 through 6. So this is the OEVA series of Macross 2. Soul Bianca 1 and 2, so that's the very first series of Soul Bianca. Golf Force 3, because we also did Golf Force 1, 2, and 3, but, of course, that's all been taken out. Vampire Hunter D, that's the one with Streamline. Venus Wars, the Fatal Fury 2, because that's the second OEVA. The second OEVA that was announced by Viz first, and not the first one for some strange reason. Well, mind you, I guess the first one looked, the second one looked better actually. Totoro, obviously that's done by Disney. Orange Road, the OEVAs, and Orange Road, the movie. Again, that's because Amiego was test running those ones first, and then they were then they kind of, I wouldn't say crowdfunded, but at least they got the survey out to see if people were going to be interested in getting the Orange Road TV series. Burn Up, which is done by A Division, and Ah My Goddess, and Dragon Knight 2. Okay, so again, a big list of titles that we've already done. And then, of course, these are the titles that people were sort of interested in waiting for us to do, and we were sort of working on it. So, but again, we tell them not to get too anxious, but that's sort of what's happening. So we started doing Dragon Fist, and at this time the translation is done. We just needed to time it out. Dirty Pair TV episode number 1. So we started doing the episodes of that. Cream Lemon After School XXX. We've already done the subtitle for, but of course the tape's not complete, so we won't get it out there. Tyler episodes 15 through 17. So it's been translated, but we're redoing it, again, because again, we're transferring from the TV copy to the Lasers copy, so that's why there's a little bit of a gap there. So we're redoing it again. We did a Carol, and the translator Daryl is working on that one. And again, that was TM Network is the main crowd with that one. And City Hunter, a whole bunch of City Hunter episodes awaiting timeout. So I've got translations for them, just waiting for them to get timed out. Okay, and also in addition to different City we did 5-star stories, which Matt helped me translate, and he was a big fan of 5-star stories. There is some episodes of Sous le Sein de Mousquetaire, which is the French version of Artemis, or the Sangoshi. There's 4 episodes which have been translated. We never ended up working on that one, but we did have 4 episodes translated. I was just waiting for timing there. We also had the Cat's Eye Laser set. Again, Shanna was the one working on that one. She has 12 episodes. Well, sort of 12 episodes, translated and ready to go. And we're working on the Heaven War Shurato TV series, and 20 episodes at this time were translated and ready to go. So again, we finished doing the translations and finished doing that one. Future projects, we were going to do St. Michael's Academy, East 1 and 2. More various different episodes of City Hunter, Dan Cougar TV series. At this time, again, I was petitioning an extra to translate the Dan Cougar for me, and of course, one of my own favorite ones I've always wanted to do was Double Zeta Gundam. It did take me a few years to finally get all that stuff translated and whatnot, but definitely got it done. So, so big, fairly big, huge, long list of stuff like that for what we had available here. Even at 1994. And so if you're keeping score, that would be 9 movies, 99 OEVAs, and 371 TV episodes. So it's just a phenomenal number of titles that are being released there. Considering that I began fansubbing around the beginning of November 1989, and this list basically came out. It was updated as of May 1994. 4 years plus or there. So we're looking at roughly 1,650 days between those two dates to do roughly 479 articles of anime, whether it's an episode, a movie, or an OVA, which basically averages out to 3.5 days per new release. So you just think, every week we were pumping out literally 2 episodes of something every week for almost 4 years straight. Okay. Doing all these different titles and that kind of stuff, and just the amount of stuff that was was produced at this particular time was just phenomenally different, and just so vastly so vastly more than just anybody else even combined even. We'll continue on the rest of the list, and you'll see what we mean by this. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. That was a good sort of look into the past, and now that things have fast forward almost 25 years, you can see just how much significance and how much difference and how much the gap was that occurred during those days, and that's basically how I gained my moniker, right? Just a known sort of nickname that I got, and I guess those kind of nicknames, when it's given to you by somebody else, tends to be more descriptive and definitely more representative of one that you make up yourself. All right. So again, I'll try to get into more episodes. We're going into older documents and things that are on the net, as well as more fan letters coming up. Okay, so definitely do keep track of that. And then I got 2 more years left to go on the top 30 showdown for the 1980s, and I'm looking forward to getting to that because I said that is going to get really tough as there's a lot more OVAs and TVs series that came out in the late 80s, right? So it'd be it's gonna require a lot of shuffling around of the things that are already in the top 30 as I've made them so far. So again, stay tuned for those. All right, so until next time, I will see you again.